Oh my goodness, what a day. You know, I knew this day was going to come. I was loosely prepared for it in abstract. It worked out-ish, okay? You know, I tend to do the signal lately because a lot of it has been like this lately. Look at this guy. So, to get you an idea of what's up, we had to basically move, as mentioned in the previous videos, because of the Forest Service. Now, again, they're in full right. I don't dispute that. I overstayed my welcome. I was 1,000% in the wrong there. Okay, but I was a victim of the circumstance. And now I'm surrounded by cows. There's a mama cow over there. This is a free-range area. So this is BLM. Obviously, I am, as you might have noticed, by absence of mountains and stuff like that, I am away from Uray and Silverton. In fact, you can't even see the mountain range from here. So the goal was to do Maggie Gulch, followed by basically packing up and then going all the way to Durango. Now, Durango is a funny area. This cow is giving me the stink eye over there. Look at that. Okay, so there's no such thing as boondocking in Durango. Okay, even the common places like Walmart have plastered themselves with no parking signs. Okay, ironically, in the area that I've read about, or that shall remain nameless, I ran into a neighbor of ours from the Kendall campground. There's campers over there. Okay, and apparently if you park in so many rows, blah, 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 you're allowed to do that. Now, as you might have noticed, my RV is 29 feet long, plus this 20-foot trailer that's even made even longer by the ton. So I am legit long. So what that means is that after trying and trying and trying again and trying some more, basically what I did was I left the RV there in a rather awkward position, and then drove with my pickup truck all the way to the only BLM land that's in drivable vicinity. Now, of course, there's other ones out there, don't get me wrong. The trick to that is that I have to be over by Durango Airport, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, no matter what. And then after that, I'm obviously hightailing it back to Florida. So I have to be vigilant of the fact of where I am so that I don't, spend unnecessary time driving to and from. So I am in BLM of Highway 160, which I've driven. There's all sorts of oil fields out here, free-range cows. Basically, I drove out here, investigated, drove all the way back, and then drove all the way back here. Whew. Seriously. It's a little bit way too much commotion. Now, another thing about that, and again, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining because I knew the difficulties and challenges associated with undertaking such an endeavor, 6,000-mile round trip. There's bound to be all sorts of shenanigans along the way. So one of which is the immense amount of difficulty that I had driving between Uray and Silverton in the first place. Okay, my RV going up the mountain was barely doing like 6 or 7 miles an hour in all sorts of low gears with tow hauling modes, obviously with a pickup truck behind it. on a trailer. Okay, so I didn't want to repeat that, okay, which is why I had a second driver basically on the way. I honestly, driving in such an undertaking, it's difficult. It is difficult, crazy. Oh, look at that! I'm attracting all sorts of audience over here. Look at this guy. Look at that. He's like, "What you doing, man?" Cows are naturally very. Oh, see, there you go. Cows are naturally very curious, and as you might have expected, in the time that I'm standing here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm sure there's more to come because they're like. Up there. There's another one. And there's another one. So, yes. I'm here at BLM land for the next anywhere between 1 to 2 days. After which it's time to start heading home. If I'm here for 2 days, right there, right there is the cell tower. So I have workable signal so that I could work if I'm here for 2 days. If I'm here for 1 day, it's gonna be the same exact difference. Today, there's still plenty of daylight left. So I think what I'll do is I'll actually go and investigate what Durango is all about. It seems to be a bustling town, all sorts of traffic, which is kind of interesting, you know, like, look at this. Look at this adorable little guy over there. He's a tiny little creature. So I'm about, I would say, probably 12 miles away from the town. Not too close, not too far. I guess doable. For out of entire abundance of caution, I basically had two sites. One is way down this road that way, okay, and another one is kind of between the natural gas line pipeline and the no further vehicles site. So I'm like at this little nuke over here. You know, I'll take what I could get at this point. Oof. So here's what I'm doing after everything is said and done. Packing up and heading home. It's a horribly difficult decision for me because I'm like this close from Utah, like 4.5 hours and I could be in Utah. But the heat, the drought, all the other challenges that, because the remainder of my scheduled trip was supposed to be nothing but hiking and hiking and hiking and hiking and hiking. And ironically, I also have a permit for the wave, which is an impossible to get permit. But I also have to be conscious of how I spend my time and what I do with my time and the weather. I mean, obviously, after enduring 120 plus degree temperatures in Moab, I've paid my dues, I think. If I ever come back to the region, I'm gonna have to probably start earlier, and it's gonna be entirely centered around hiking, which is what I like to do. That sort of trip is outlined, is just whether it's feasible next year, 2022. I'm shooting probably for April, and that's kind of it, really. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe have to postpone it some more. There's going to be a lot of changes in the future. A Jeep is in store. Bye-bye trailer. I'm gonna be making major changes in RV based on the experience that I've had, because this has been like dive with your head first. No matter how much I prepped for it, like I started prepping for this trip all the way back in 2013 after my trip to Yellowstone. Right? It's 2021 right now. It's a lot of years. It's a lot of months, a lot of weeks, a lot of days to prepare. no matter how much I researched, no matter how much I prepared, you can't get it unless you actually do it. And when you do it, you start running into difficulties, and you have to deal with them on the road, and a lot of times you can't rectify them. Like, for example, see this missing piece over there? It's been missing since the beginning of the trip. I lost it on like the second day of the trip, or maybe even the first, somewhere between Florida and Louisiana. You know, there's certain things that are broken, and because you're running on this rigid schedule, just going bam, 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 you have to be there, you have to be there. You have to make concessions with everything and then some. So I've learned a tremendous amount of information along the way. I am, despite all the difficulties, despite all the challenges that have come, despite all the issues that have arisen, like, for example, being stuck in Needles district of Canyonlands National Park for probably 12 to 16 hours and being pulled out from precarious situation in the middle of the night, enduring frigid cold in Moab, enduring frigid cold in Colorado, obviously losing my best friend along the way, my cat. There's been a lot of things that have just gone wrong. Financial casualties. 4 cameras dead, 1 drone dead, right? Plus there's some failures in the trailer that have to be repaired, in the RV that have to be repaired, in the pickup truck that have to be repaired. But you know what? It was all worth it, because this was like either you have to do it or you don't do it at all kind of thing. I'm blessed, you know, despite all the difficulties, despite all the challenges, despite all the inconveniences, despite the incredible people I've met along the way, the absolute beauty that I have been able to experience for so long, it is totally worth it. All that just kind of washes away. I'm gonna have to deal with it when I come home, obviously. There's things that have to be rectified. But in the most immediate future, I have a grueling 2,200 mile trek to get back home. I'm gonna be a little bit smarter this time, I think. I have virtual meetings that have to happen along the way. I have to obviously work on the road. My goal is to maybe stretch this out a little bit longer. Maybe not. I still haven't figured that one out. The target to arrive home is either this upcoming Sunday, which I don't know what date that is, or Tuesday, the next week, based on the mileage and how I'm gonna do that whole trip. Until then, it's gonna be me and the cows. It's gonna be a quick trip to Durango to see what's out there, and then kind of deal with things as they come. So stay tuned. There's gonna be more videos to follow as I make my trek back home. And then once I get home, the goal is to figure out what to do with gargantuous amount of videos that I have recorded. We're pushing 32 terabytes of videos, to get you an idea. So yes, it's gonna be something. I appreciate all the people that have followed me this far. I appreciate all the people that I have met along the way. Looking forward to possibly doing this sometime in the future as well. Until then, see you another day.